For our first true overland trip as a team, we decided to take on the Allegheny Discovery Route through West Virginia and Virginia. The plan was to cover roughly 400 miles over 4 days and 3 nights, stopping at every point of interest along the way. For most of the team, this was their longest trip, which meant every day was a learning experience in planning, packing, and vehicle maintenance. We are Spartan Overland, and this is the Allegheny Discovery Route. As usual, it was an early start for us as we made our way through West Virginia to the beginning of our route. Day 1 began at the Dolly Sods Wilderness. We planned to cover 80 miles of trail and set up camp in the Blackwater Wildlife Management Area. It was just before our first stop, Bear Rocks, that we almost lost our drone to strong winds. Bear Rocks was our first taste of what we would experience on this trip. The Allegheny Mountains are home to several plant and animal species that are typically found much farther north in Canada. The views here were incredible, and the team took the opportunity to take plenty of wind-swept selfies on the cliff edge. Our next stop was Seneca Rocks, which was used as part of the West Virginia maneuver area for the 10th Mountain Division of the United States Army between 1943 and 1944. The Army used Seneca to train troops in assault climbing for action in Italy, and subsequently left behind an estimated 75,000 iron pitons, which led to one of the faces being referred to as the face of 1,000 pitons. While we weren't climbing the rocks today, we did enjoy spotting a small group scale the sheer rock face in front of us. In the words of the most prolific poet of our era, Frederick Durst, keep on rolling, baby. As we pull into camp for the night, we look forward to the downtime beside a campfire where old friends and new friends come together. Casey and I have known each other since high school, but it was ultimately the Marine Corps and then overlanding that strengthened our friendship.
Now I'm talking about me. It's one of my favorite subjects. Originally from St. Augustine, Florida, now live in western North Carolina. Spent a few years in the Marine Corps, went overseas a little bit. Now I work as a paramedic, driving the Boo Boo bus. I drive this 2007 FJ Cruiser Money Pit. I enjoy the camaraderie, getting out and hanging out with like-minded folks. We've seen some cool places today. We were almost blown off the top of a mountain by a tremendous wind. I guess that's all I got, Jesse. I'm not good for much. Now I'm gonna eat this burger while you watch.
As the team woke up and began breaking down camp Saturday morning, we made note of a dense fog surrounding us. What we didn't know was that this was only the beginning of our time with fog today. For day 2, the plan was to cover nearly 100 miles, with stops at several waterfalls, a fire tower, and another water crossing.
It was a lot of fun, actually. I mean, we had some nice river crossings and some nice water crossings, and just going through the mud and spinning some tires was a lot of fun. A lot more off-roading than I thought we were going to do.
It was way more technical than I anticipated, absolutely. A couple of places sliding down the rock, I thought that Bella's booty was going to bounce pretty hard, but no, we cleared it, and trail was much more difficult than I anticipated, but it was super fun.
Jeremy and Kim have also been longtime friends of ours, but they're new to the world of overlanding. However, that hasn't stopped them. They've jumped in head first. You can follow along with them on their adventures at Down South Off-Road and Outdoor.
I was in a bad car accident in March and I totaled a Juke, and he said, guess what, we're getting something bigger. And that's how we ended up with Bella, my Jeep Wrangler. And he said, you know, a lot of folks use Jeeps for overlanding. And I'm like, what is overlanding? I don't even get it. And he's like, well, you camp in your car. And I'm like, well, that's not cool at all. But then once we started watching other folks that had been into overlanding, and we started to research all the cool gear that comes with overlanding. Overlanding for me has been a way for us to I guess, revive or re-enjoy each other on a much more personal level, on a much more deeper level, because we are able to unplug and get away from the rest of the world and just enjoy each other's company.
No phone calls, no emails. Kim is having so much fun off-roading and hanging out with these people.
My name is Kim Watson Pitts, and I am a certified personal trainer. I own my own company. It's called Down South Muscle. And with that Down South theme, Jeremy and I created Down South Off-Road and Outdoor.
She still struggles with the name. We've only said it, 70,000 times, but she's like, out, adventure. It's Down South Off-Road and Outdoor. That's how smoothly you should flow it when you say it.
All right, what we have here is a row of coke ovens in coal country, West Virginia. They would take the low sulfur coal that they extracted around here, pack it in one of these bad boys, brick the front door in, and light it on fire. It would process itself into coke. Now, don't get excited. It's not that kind of coke. It's fuel for blast furnaces. But it would take several days and a several-man crew to process it here in the coke ovens.
We're about to take a few steps. We're going to get winded going up the Olson Fire Tower, one of the last remaining fire towers in the National Forest.
Did you say something about $10 if someone got up first?
I say climb up, not walk up the stairs.
I don't know if I can hold this and do this.
Yo. Oh, yeah, y'all died. That's Jeremy.
Okay.
In New York, they would have cabins at the base of them. Ones up in upstate New York, they had like logs of like who lived there from what year to what year. Oh, that's cool. And like you could see in the cabin and what they were living and how they had to hike up like hours to get groceries and stuff up there. If you lived locally, I would come up here and set up a webcam.
Well, that's a...
You
Day 3 started with the same dense fog we set up camp in the previous night, but we couldn't complain. What we didn't realize during the night was that our camp was in what the team could only describe as an enchanted forest. The last full day of this trip was once again roughly 100 miles, though there were fewer stops and more pavement driving. The goal today was to make camp at Meadow Knob.
So we stopped in Monterey, Virginia, which is an adorable little town with, I don't know what the population was, just over 100. We stopped here to get lunch and just kind of relax for a minute before we continue on our adventure. We got a lot of miles to cover today, but it feels like it's going to be kind of low key, and I'm in love with these rolling hills. I've never wanted to own a farm so bad in my life.
Before making our way to camp, a few of us decided to have a little fun.
What's up, Casey?
Well, we have determined that I have lost a nut off of one of my trailing arms. And the bolt is about halfway out. We're going to try and see if we can get it back in and find a nut when we get to something close to civilization. But we don't have any prying instruments. So we're trying to ask ourselves, what would Chip do? I'm just not strong enough.
I feel like have him run it over and then it's pulling forward.
Well, we tried the other Kevin is one of the newest members of our team, but he's proven himself invaluable time and time again. Beyond being a great friend, he also brings a higher level of technical know-how.
I always loved being in the woods. I always loved being off the beaten path, and I just found off-roading, and they just kind of met together for overlanding. I mean, you take everything with you that you want and you need, and you can bring your creature comforts, and you can bring whatever you want to be happy and cook a steak out in the woods and just enjoy yourself. It kind of opened up a whole new world for me when I started working for Bud Built. I originally came from New Jersey, and I was born and raised up there in the north, and was in a very urban area, and so I didn't have a chance to do a lot of this stuff. And so every day I'm learning new things, how to chop wood, how to get to certain spots in overlanding, how to navigate the woods, and all these guys who have military training have always really helped me to learn and grow and become more dependent on myself and figure out how to do things for myself without asking for help.
As we closed out the coldest and last night of our journey, we had some of the best conversations of our trip. It's nights like this where the team really grows together. So we got up this morning. It's pretty cold, but we got into this site yesterday evening. It's a clearing. It's Meadow Knob in Virginia. We had some wind and rain last night, but we got up this morning. The fog is cleared, the skies are beautiful, sunrise is amazing, and then to top it off, there's just a little bit of snow falling on us to really set this last morning off.
Yeah, we were talking about this last night. This is like a dream event for me. I've always wanted to, since ever I got this truck, is to just camp on the top of a mountain, wake up to just beautiful hills, and to add to that effect, we get a little bit of snow too. That is a house right there. That's a view. We could have planned that.
So eventually, we got this truck and we actually started doing it. And I'll be honest, she resisted it for a while.
I did. I followed it. I'm not the biggest on just, the only thing I've ever known of road trips is, what most people know, which is just the highway for hours and hours and hours. And I'm not one that's really big on sitting still, but I've always loved the idea of exploring the world outside of the commercialism, the side of areas that people don't typically see. And I guess it took me a while to realize Overlanding could absolutely give me that.
Your average weekend campers can't get here. We're here with our friends, enjoying each other, enjoying the companionship, the camaraderie. Where do we come from?
A tiny little hole called Caldwell County. Most people don't even know it exists.
I'm a graphic designer, which is what I do full time now. And she's not far off. She works in printing, so it's like honestly the same field, but in a different area of it.
He makes the picture, and I help make it print.
The last few miles of trail were more technical than most of what we had driven in the last few days. This was a pleasant surprise and a perfect closer for our time on the Allegheny Discovery route. Eleanor Roosevelt once said, "The purpose of life, after all, is to live it, to taste experience to the utmost, to reach out eagerly and without fear for a newer and richer experience." Adventure means something different for everyone. For us, it's this: waking up on mountaintops, sleeping next to quiet streams, and seeing the world from roads less traveled. Until our next adventure, get out and explore.